Yeah, let's start NFL. We just marched through week 9 of the season. There should be a new philosophy in Boltville as it relates to the Chargers. Let it rip. Just let Justin Herbert do what Justin Herbert does well. Scrap this idea that we can play back alley football and run the damn football. What he's put up 3 weeks in a row is pretty doggone impressive. 27-10 win over Cleveland. Herbert throws for 282 and 2 touchdowns. Did not like what I saw. He got sacked 6 times. I thought it was one of the poor offensive line displays that the Bolts have had, but the Chargers had 6 quarterback sacks. Chargers had 3 interceptions of Jameis Winston, who just looked miserable. The Browns are just a disaster, but the Bolts, they're feeling good about themselves right now. They are 5-3, but I'll tell you, the schedule, after they get done with this next home game, their schedule is going to be hard. So we'll just see how far they go. But hey, Justin Herbert, let it rip. Rams, unbelievable overtime win against Seattle. This was a Rams team that looked like its season was over a couple of weeks ago. Matthew Stafford and those kids on defense have willed the Rams to 3 straight wins, and they won in Seattle against a Seahawks team that moves the football up and down the field. But I will tell you, Jared Verse and Brandon Fisk, the top 2 draft picks, and we've talked often about them coming out of last year's draft, they were unbelievable. They had 7 sacks. They had 3 interceptions. They took one back, 103 yards for a score. Geno Smith may have thrown for 363 and a bunch of touchdowns, but boy, 3 picks. They were in his face all over the place. It was a pretty impressive job. Sean McVay's done a hell of a job coaching up a really young football team, and now they're sitting there at 4-4. Raiders Nation, I pity you. This is really bad. They have now lost 5 in a row. They are now 2-7 on the season, and they got killed in Cincinnati. And the Bengals are not what I think is a great team. They benched Gardner Minshew again. 2 more fumbles. It's just a hopeless situation. Joe Burrow threw 5 touchdown passes in the game. Raiders were never in the game. And it's a Bengals team that has nothing around a superstar quarterback. Yet the superstar quarterback is winning games for them. Raiders are now 2-7. Baltimore, what a combination. Boy, did they deliver a message to the Denver Broncos. When they were done, it was 41-10. Baltimore drilled Denver. Lamar Jackson throws for 280. Derrick Henry runs for another 106 yards on the ground. Ravens are just playing phenomenal football. Tough day for Bo Nix against the Baltimore defense. Detroit goes to Lambeau Field, and they beat the Packers in a driving rainstorm, better than snow. But boy, it was brutal conditions. Jared Goff, it's like he's bulletproof as quarterback. He's not turning the football over. He's not putting up 350-yard days Sunday to Sunday, but he only threw for 141, and there was raining sideways in that game last night. But they were pretty impressive. He's got a quarterback rating of 111, Jared Goff in Detroit. And the Lions now as good as anybody in the NFC at this point. Philadelphia pasted Jacksonville. Looks like the Eagles are starting to come together. Jalen Hurts, big day throwing and running. Saquon Barkley ran for 179 yards for Philadelphia. A.J. Brown is back. Devontae Smith is back, although Brown got hurt during the course of the Eagles' win. But, boy, Philadelphia right now, if they can keep their people on the field and their defense, when they've drafted a lot of defense the last 2 years, defense is starting to play better and better. Philadelphia looks like it's going to be dangerous. You got Tampa Bay, Kansas City tonight, Monday Night Football. I'm bringing sub sandwiches. You make sure the beer is cold. Baker Mayfield's got 21 touchdowns this season.
Good for him.
And he's lost his 2 wide receivers. They're both gone. And yet he's just chucking it all over the field. But Patrick Mahomes, he's not having a statistically dominant season, but they're 7-0. They find a way to win. Their defense has gotten progressively better. Kelsey's catching passes again. And now they're going to get DeAndre Hopkins on the field full-time tonight to go with Kareem Hunt, the 2 refugees that they signed in free agency and traded for. So this will be a good game. We'll just see if Baker can hang in there and have to do it by himself. But geez, he's got 21 touchdown passes this season. So, John, Those are marquee games around the NFL that we saw and the one we're going to look at tonight. And your thoughts?
This season has been so weird for the Chargers, hasn't it? I mean, they've looked great. Justin Herbert looked terrific on Sunday. They've looked terrible in the past, but now they're 5-3. And so that's, roughly halfway through the season. Do you think the Chargers are a playoff team, and could the Rams be a playoff team?
I think they both could be a playoff team. I think the Rams run uphill is tougher because they're sitting there at 4-4. Can't afford to have too many more setbacks, but they got both their receivers who were hurt back healthy. Cooper Kupp caught 11 passes for 104 yesterday. And the game before that, Kupp and Puka Nacua, I think, combined to catch 12 passes for like 180 yards. So now suddenly things are coming back together and there's still half a season. I think Sean McVay's done a great job. The Bolts, the thing that I don't like, and they've got 3 number 1 draft picks in the offensive front, and those guys did not play well, especially in the first half. They gave up 6 sacks. I mean, Herbert was just getting pummeled. And they've got to tighten the screws there. And they're not running the football very well at all, even though J.K. Dobbins is still there. So, hey, like I tell Jim Harbaugh, let it rip. Just let him throw the freaking football. The heck with this balance thing or trying to force the run. They're always talking about Greg Roman can do this and Greg Roman did that running the football. They're not getting it done. And we're halfway through the season. Your quarterback's taking too many shots. Just concentrate on getting the ball down the field. So, yeah, I think both them. And then there's the Raider Nation.
What a mess. I mean, it's just a flat out disaster with the Raiders.
Dysfunctional?
Yeah, well, that's maybe putting it kindly.
Truer words never spoken from this host who used the correct term describing Raider football. Silver and bleak. Those are the colors.
It's amazing.
So, hey, you're an NFL fan. Jump into the chat box, fans forum. You talk about the Bolts, talk about the Rams. Anybody got an opinion on the Raiders? Feel free. Make it clean. Don't make it obscene. We want to hear what you've got to say.
Did you see the highlight of Saquon Barkley jumping backwards over the guy? Wasn't that something?
Saquon Barkley's having an amazing season.
Yeah.
And think about that. The New York Giants let that guy go across the bridge to Philadelphia in the same bleeping division.
Exactly.
Just a disaster. One other